Well, that made a mess. Yeah. Gotta do leg day after this. Tier 4, baby. We're back. Without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right in. Shanti Devi. Shanti Devi is known for being a possible case of reincarnation. Shanti was born on December 11, 1926 in Delhi, India. In the 1930s, while she was a little girl, she began claiming that she remembered details of her past life. She said that her real home was in Mathura, which was about 90 miles from where she lived, and she had a husband there too. At the age of 6, she was tired of her parents not believing her. So she decided she was going to run away in hopes of making it to Mathura. But it's not stated that she was successful in her runaway, so she continued her life in Delhi. But back at school, she would constantly state that she was married and had died 10 days after giving birth to a child. According to Shanti, her previous name was Lugdi Devi, and she died after bearing a son in October of 1925. Her teachers were interested, and so one of her teachers and her headmaster interviewed her. She used words from the Mathura dialect and even gave the name of her former husband, Keter Nath. The headmaster decided to locate this Keter, and he explained everything. However, Keter did say that he did lose his wife 9 years prior after his wife gave birth to their son. Keter then traveled to Delhi, but in order to see if she was telling the truth, he pretended to be his brother, try to trick her, catch her off guard. But when Keter arrived, Shanti immediately recognized him and saw right through his little trick. She then gave up several details about Keter's life that she shouldn't have known about, and he was convinced that this was the reincarnation of his dead wife. The case was then brought up to Gandhi. Yes, that Gandhi. He set up a special commission to investigate if this was truly a case of reincarnation or simply a hoax. The commission then traveled to Shanti and arrived on November 15th, 1935. They took Shanti back to her old town, Mathura, where she claimed she was from. And when she got there, she immediately recognized multiple family members by name. She also found out that Keter didn't keep some of her deathbed promises. Once the commission had enough evidence, Shanti traveled back to Delhi with her parents, and the commission put out a report in 1936 and had concluded that Shanti was indeed the reincarnation of Lugdi Devi. Devi never married or remarried, if you believe her story. She told her story again in the 1950s and once more in 1986 when she was interviewed. On December 27th, 1987, Devi passed away. So what do you think? Was this a possible case of reincarnation? A coincidence? It is strange that a young girl knew so much about a family she never met over 90 miles away, but I guess we'll never know. The Somerton Man. The Somerton Man was an unidentified man whose body was found on December 1st, 1948 on the beach at Somerton Park, a suburb in South Australia. The police were called out at 6:30 a.m. after a man's body was discovered on the beach. The man was found laying in the sand. He was laying on his back with his head against the seawall and his legs extended and his feet were crossed. It looked like he had just died while sleeping. The police searched his pockets and there was a few items on him such as an unlit cigarette, a rail ticket, a bus ticket, a comb, gum, and a few other items. It was initially suspected that he committed suicide, and from his autopsy, his time of death was around 2 a.m. on December 1st, about 4 hours before he was found. On January 14th, 1949, a brown suitcase with its label removed was found at a nearby railway station. The police believed it was the Somerton Man's. When it was searched, most of the clothing had its labels removed, but a few items had T. Kane or Keen written on them. Due to wartime rationing at the time, getting new clothing was difficult. However, it was very common to remove the name and tags of previous owners when buying them used. But the police didn't think the Somerton Man's name was T. Kane, but they still conducted a search based on that name. No English-speaking country was missing anyone by that name. The authorities opened an inquest, and after investigating, it seems like he was poisoned. They also noticed that there was a small rolled up piece of paper with the words "Tamam Shud" printed on it. It was found in a small pocket sewn into the pan. Public library officials translated the message as "ended" or "finished." It seemed to have come from the last page of this book. Police asked the public for help. They wanted to find the original book that this was ripped out of. Here's where the details of this get a little fuzzy. Some reports say that the book that the police were looking for was found a few weeks before the Somerton Man's death, while others say it was found soon after. Regardless, the police found the book that they believe this message was ripped from. There were faint indentations in the back of the book that represented 5 lines of text in capital letters. The second line has been deleted, which is significant due to the similarity of the fourth line and the possibility that it represents an encryption error. Attempts to decode this went up to even 2014 with no success. Well, it seems like this guy's just cool and mysterious, right? Writing cryptic notes in the back of this random book. So who the hell was he? Well, throughout many years, many people had many theories. My favorite was that he was just a spy that was executed, but we'll dig a little deeper. People believe this, the spy angle, because of the circumstances and the historical context of his death. You see, spies were interested in at least two locations near where the Somerton Man was found: Radium Hill, or uranium mine, in the Woomerian Test Range, an Anglo-Australian military research facility. The man's death also occurred during a reorganization of Australia's security agencies, which culminated the following year with the establishment of the Australian Security Intelligence Organization, or ASIO. This would be followed by a crackdown on Soviet espionage in Australia. While this sounds all cool and badass, by July 26, 2022, there was a break in the case. Professor Derek Abbott and genealogist Colleen Fitzpatrick determined that the Somerton Man was Carl Charles Webb. South Australian police had not verified the result, but stated that they were cautiously optimistic that this may provide a breakthrough. So who the hell was this Carl Webb? To sum it up, he was an electrical engineer born on November 16, 1905 in Melbourne. He was married to Dorothy Webb, and according to her, he was violent and moody. He reportedly tried to kill himself in March 1946 by ODing on ether. Dorothy nursed him back to health, which made him angrier. By September of that year, Dorothy fled. Carl moved out and went off the radar. It seems like right before Webb's first suicide attempt, he lost many family members due to different causes. Carl, according to Derek Abbott and Colleen Fitzpatrick, it appears that Carl had serious mental health issues and had spiraled after losing 4 close family members in quick succession. According to his history and autopsy findings, he committed suicide by poisoning himself. Well, now I know you're wondering, but what about all the coded messages? What was all that about? Well, Abbott's research indicates that Webb enjoyed betting on horses. Thus, the coded messages could just be horse names. Seems like a decent answer to me, but what do you think? Is this one solved, or does the rabbit hole go a little deeper? Comment down below. The Isdal woman. The Isdal woman is a placeholder name given to an unidentified woman who was found dead at Isdalen in Bergen, Norway on November 29, 1970. On that day, a man and his 2 young daughters were hiking in an area known as Isdalen, which translates to the Ice Valley. But this area also has other names, such as Dadsdalen, here on the screen. But this name also means the Death Valley, due to the area's histories of suicides in the Middle Ages, as well as multiple modern hiking accidents. As they were hiking, they noticed an unusual burning smell. That's when one of the daughters located a charred body nearby. Obviously freaked out, the family immediately hiked back to town to notify the authorities. The police came up and performed an investigation, and they found the body laying down, facing up, with her hands clenched by her torso. She was burned up so bad that she was unrecognizable, but there was an absence of a nearby campfire. Near her body was an empty bottle of liquor, 2 plastic water bottles, a plastic passport container, rubber boots, a scarf, stockings, an umbrella, a purse, a matchbox, and some jewelry, and 12 sleeping pills. Around the body were traces of burned paper, and beneath it was a fur hat, which was later found to have traces of petrol gas. All identifying marks and labels on these items had been removed or rubbed off. An autopsy was then performed, and it concluded that the woman had died from a combination of poisoning from consuming sleeping pills as well as poisoning by carbon monoxide. Soot was found in her lungs, indicating that she was alive as she was burned, and they found evidence that she consumed about 50 to 70 sleeping pills. Her teeth and jaw were removed during her autopsy due to her unique gold fillings, so they thought they could use it to figure out who she was. Police then reached out to the media and public to help get some leads, and they found the last time she was seen alive was on November 23rd when she checked out of her nearby hotel room. The hotel staff told police she was a good-looking woman with dark brown hair and small brown eyes. The staff said that she kept to herself, and when she checked in, she paid with cash and requested a taxi. Her movements after that and up until her body was found are unknown. Police were able to search her room and determined that she stayed in several hotels and often changed rooms after checking in. Despite thorough investigations, her true name and background remain unknown. Over the years, she utilized a series of false identities and undergone plastic surgery further obscuring her true identity. Multiple passwords, wigs, glasses with altered prescriptions all were discovered in her room or in her possession. This suggests a deliberate attempt to conceal her true identity. But the weird question is, who was this woman? Why did she go to such lengths to hide her identity? Who killed her? Why did she kill herself? Like, what happened? Well, the Isdal woman case has generated multiple theories and speculations over the years. Some propose that she was a spy embroiled in espionage, citing her multiple passports and all the effort to conceal her identity. Others suggest that she just may have been involved in illegal activities such as organized crime. This is also could be the reason why she had all these fake passports and her ability to move across international borders undetected. Some theories suggest connections to intelligence agencies and secret operations, while others propose personal vendettas or a love affair gone wrong. The allure of the Isdal woman case has endured over the decades, captivating amateur sleuths, researchers, true crime enthusiasts alike. Numerous attempts have been made to solve the mystery, including reopening the case in the most recent years. In 2016, the Isdal woman's teeth were re-examined using modern forensic technique, yielding a facial reconstruction that was released to the public. However, despite advancements in forensic evidence and the proliferation of information, the identity of the Isdal woman remains unsolved. I love this case. It's got, all these different identities, possible spies turning on spies, or true crime, or it could have been a mentally ill woman, right, on the run, running from nothing. But I don't know. Maybe you do. Comment down below what you think of this case. The Oslo Plaza woman. The Oslo Plaza woman, also known as Jennifer Fairgate, has captured the imagination of countless individuals worldwide. This was a woman who was found dead in room 2805 in the Oslo Plaza Hotel in 1995. Her death remains a mystery, leaving investigators and armchair detectives puzzled. The Oslo Plaza woman's story begins on May 30th, 1995, when she checked into the Oslo Plaza Hotel under an alias. This alias was Jennifer Fairgate. Little personal information was provided and her true identity remains unknown. Tragically, the following day she was discovered lifeless in her locked hotel room with a gunshot wound to the head and a Beretta pistol nearby. The absence of identification documents and the removal of clothing tags only added to the mystery. How did Jennifer end up in that hotel room, and what led to her demise? Well, one of the most baffling aspects of this whole case is her unidentified persona. Despite extensive investigations, authorities were unable to uncover her real name or background. Was she a spy? A victim of foul play? Speculation has run rampant, with theories ranging from meticulous planned assassination to an elaborate suicide cover-up. The lack of concrete information about her identity has fueled countless conspiracy theories, making the Oslo Plaza woman an enigma in her own right. Like I said, there are many conspiracies and theories about who she was. Some theorize that she may have been involved in criminal activities, explaining the need to be anonymous. Others propose she was a victim caught in a web of espionage, eliminated for possessing sensitive information. The absence of a struggle within the locked hotel room further deepens the intrigue. Nevertheless, without conclusive evidence or breakthroughs in the investigation, these theories remain in the realm of speculation. And despite decades of Jennifer Fairgate's case being open, every time that it's brought up and gets in the media, it sparks interest again. Yet despite this, the Oslo Plaza woman, or Jennifer Fairgate, story remains an enigma, a riddle that has yet to be solved. Her death and all the circumstances around her fuel fascination and speculation. As time goes on, we can only hope that new leads or breakthroughs will shed light on who this Jennifer Fairgate was. Gloria Ramirez. Gloria Ramirez, also known as the Toxic Lady, was a woman whose mysterious and controversial case garnered significant attention in the 1990s. Her story captivated both scientific and the general public due to its weird and tragic nature. Gloria Ramirez was born on January 11, 1963 in Riverside, California. Little is known about her early life, and she's largely lived a private and unremarkable existence until the events that unfolded on February 19, 1994. On that fateful night, Gloria was rushed to the emergency room at Riverside General Hospital due to severe complications related to her cervical cancer. The medical staff attended to Gloria quickly, noticing something unusual. As they began treating her, they observed an unusual oily sheen on her skin and detected a fruity, garlic-like odor emitting from her body. Nurses and doctors reported experiencing various symptoms such as lightheadedness, shortness of breath, and even fainting. Some personnel also reported muscle spasms, blurred vision, and other effects. In response to this alarming situation, the hospital then called in the hazmat team to secure the area. Speculation and theories regarding the case of Gloria's bizarre condition quickly emerged. Some believe that she might have been exposed to some sort of toxic chemicals, while others suggested a rare metabolic disorder. Theories range from heavy metal poisoning to a reaction reaction between medication she was taking, while some even posed the involvement of supernatural or paranormal forces. Because on that fateful night, whatever was causing this ordeal with Gloria ultimately led to her demise, sadly. The investigation into Gloria's case then faced numerous challenges. Her body was embalmed shortly after her death, limiting the available samples for analysis. However, some blood samples and tissues were collected, revealing traces of dimethylsulfone, a chemical commonly used in industrial processes. The presence of this substance offered a potential explanation to the unusual odor reported by the staff. However, it did not provide conclusive answer to the broader mystery surrounding her condition. One hypothesis, put forward to explain the bizarre symptoms experienced by the medical personnel was mass hysteria. We've already covered that last video. According to this theory, however, the suggestion of heightened anxiety within the hospital environment may have contributed to the symptoms reported. It suggested that the initial reaction of one or a few individuals triggered a chain reaction in psychological and physiological responses among the staff. Despite the absence of a definitive explanation, Gloria Ramirez's case has a profound impact on the medical community. It highlighted the need for improved protocols and procedures to handle similar situations. Hospitals revised their approaches to dealing with hazardous materials and implemented better training for staff in responding to potential chemical exposures. The incident also underscored the importance of clear communication and coordination between medical personnel and emergency responders. Moreover, the Toxic Lady case sparked public interest and awareness in a field of medical mysteries. It brought the attention of complex nature of rare diseases and challenges researchers face in unraveling their underlying causes. Now we have House. Love that show. The case also ignited discussions about the ethical considerations surrounding patient privacy and the dissemination of medical information. In conclusion, Gloria Ramirez's story remains perplexing and continues to intrigue investigators to this day. And despite all of the extensive investigations, there's not really exact cause or condition to what ultimately led to all of this. However, I did watch a video not too long ago, I think by Mr. Ballin. I'll link that down below. And at the end of his video, his explanation was a combination of the different medicines she was on caused this weird reaction in her body. That seems like the most likely to me, but what do you think? Comment down below. The Countess of Desmond. The Countess of Desmond, a prominent historical figure in 16th century Ireland, continues to captivate the imagination with her fascinating life and legendary longevity. While the tale of her extraordinary lifespan has been recounted for centuries, separating fact from fiction, it presents a considerable challenge to figure out what is real and what's not. Catherine Fitzgerald, commonly referred to as the Countess of Desmond, was married to James Fitzgerald, a 15th century Earl of Desmond. Their marriage aligned them with one of the most influential noble families in Ireland during the Middle Ages. There are a few legends and lores around the old Countess of Desmond, but we should approach these with caution because some of them have been embellished by folklore with the passage of time. One of the most enduring legends surrounding the Countess of Desmond is her remarkable longevity. According to popular lore, she lived to be over 140 years old. Reminds me of that old lady from Game of Thrones that hung around the Starks. They said she was really old too. However, this claim lacks substantial evidence and is likely a product of exaggeration and myth. The precise dates of Catherine Fitzgerald's birth and death remain uncertain, making it challenging to verify the accuracy of these claims. Another tale associated with the Countess of Desmond revolves around her resilience in the face of adversity. Legend has it after the Battle of Kinsale in 1601, where her husband and 2 sons were killed, she wandered the Irish countryside as a beggar. Eventually, she made her way all the way to England to seek aid from Queen Elizabeth I. While this account is intriguing, its historical accuracy is difficult to prove due to the lack of concrete evidence. Despite the uncertainty surrounding her life, the Countess of Desmond's place in history cannot be denied. Her connection with the influential Desmond dynasty, as well as her presence during the tumultuous period in Irish history, make her an intriguing figure. The Desmond family played a significant role in Irish politics and society, and the Countess would have witnessed the decline of her family's power during her time alive. The fascination with the Countess of Desmond can be contributed to the combination of history and mythology. Her alleged longevity and dramatic life story have become a part of Irish folklore, passing down through generations. While the legends may embellish her life, they serve as a testament to the impact that she made while she was here. But it's crucial to approach these stories with a critical lens, appreciating the historical context while acknowledging the potential embellishments. And it also reminds us of all the stories we hear in folklore, as over time they become embellished and things get changed, such as her longevity of living 140 years. Akhenaten. Boy, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing this name right. Akhenaten, also known as Amenhotep IV, was an ancient Egyptian pharaoh who ruled during the 14th century BCE. I love this time period. He is perhaps the most famous for his religious reforms, centered around the worship of a single god, the Aten. His reign marked a significant departure from the traditional polytheistic religious practice of ancient Egypt. Akhenaten ascended to the throne around 1353 BCE and initially ruled the city of Thebes, which was the religious center of Egypt at the time. Early in his reign, he was known as Amenhotep IV and worshipped the traditional Egyptian pantheon, with the god Amen-Ra being the most prominent deity. However, around the 5th year of his reign, Akhenaten initiated a radical transformation of the Egyptian religious practices. Under Akhenaten's reform, Aten represented the sun disk and became the sole deity of worship. The pharaoh declared that the Aten to be the supreme god and rejected all traditional gods and goddesses. He changed his name to Akhenaten, which means effective for Aten, to reflect his new religious focus. Akhenaten believed that Aten was a universal god who controlled all aspects of life from the sun to the natural world. To consolidate this religious shift, Akhenaten moved the capital of Egypt to a new city called Akhenaten, also known as Amarna. The city was built to the honor of Aten and served as the center of Pharaoh's new monotheistic worship. Art and inscriptions from this period depict Akhenaten and his family engaging in intimate interactions with Aten, often showing as rays extending with the hands offering Ankh, the symbol of life. Like I said, I hope I'm pronouncing all this right. During his reign, Akhenaten promoted a sense of religious exclusivity, emphasizing the worship of Aten to the exclusion of all the other deities. Temples dedicated to the traditional gods were abandoned and their priests were sidelined. The pharaoh's reforms also extended to the artistic representations, with distinctive artistic style emerging during this period, and it was characterized by elongated figures on a focus with naturalistic scenes of family life. Akhenaten's religious revolution was not without opposition. The changes threatened the powerful and religious political elites who derived their influence from the traditional polytheistic system. After Akhenaten's death, his son, Akhenaten, assumed the throne and reversed the reforms, returning Egypt to the worship of the traditional pantheon. Due to this reversal, Akhenaten's reign was largely erased from historical records, and his name and legacy were often vilified by later pharaohs seeking to legitimize their rule. Nevertheless, this period of time remains a very important section of ancient Egyptian history. In modern times, Akhenaten's reign and religious reforms have sparked fascination and scholarly debate. His monotheistic experiment, though short-lived, stands out as a unique departure from Egypt's long tradition of polytheism. Akhenaten was later known as the heretic king and continues to inspire discussions on religious and artistic and political aspects of ancient Egypt, shedding light on the complexities in this rich civilization. I think it's really weird, just out of nowhere, thousands of years they've been doing this, and out of nowhere he's just like, we're going to do this. And after his death, they just moved on back to what they've been doing, and they kind of forgot about him. Like, what sparked that? I don't know. It's weird because that period of time in ancient Egypt history is really interesting to me. In fact, all of ancient Egyptian history is really interesting to me. You want me to do a video on the pyramids? Comment down below. Wolf Messing. Wolf Messing was a renowned figure in the world of psychic phenomenon, and he continues to captivate the imagination with his extraordinary abilities and his strange life. Born on September 10th, 1899 in Poland, Wolf rose to fame as a psychic and mind reader, leaving behind a legacy shrouded in mystery and intrigue. From an early age, Wolf exhibited remarkable psychic talent. As a child, he astounded those around him with his ability to read minds, predict future events. His supernatural abilities quickly gained attention, and as a young adult, Wolf embarked on a career as a stage performer, captivating audiences and with his mind-reading acts and predictions. Wolf's fame reached new heights in the 1930s when he caught the attention of Soviet authorities, including Joseph Stalin. Fascinated by Wolf's abilities, Stalin summoned him to perform, testing the limits of his psychic powers. Reportedly, Wolf impressed Stalin with his mind-reading demonstrations, solidifying his position as a trusted confidant and gaining the protection and the support of the Soviet Union. During World War II, Wolf's alleged psychic powers took on a new dimension. He claimed he'd use his abilities to influence German soldiers, making them desert, escape from captivity, or even surrender. While these assertions have been met with skepticism, they contributed with the growing fascination with Wolf and his reported powers. Wolf's performances and demonstrations drew attention all across Europe at this time, with the audience growing bigger and bigger, and they were eager to witness his abilities firsthand. Whether it was reading closed letters, identifying hidden objects, or accurately predicting events, Wolf had a mesmerizing effect on those who witnessed his shows. He toured everywhere, leaving audience in awe and sparking debates among skeptics and believers alike. However, throughout his life, Wolf faced criticism and skepticism. Naturally, skeptics argued that his performance relied on clever tricks and psychological manipulation rather than genuine psychic abilities. Critics called for a scientific investigation to validate his claims, but no definitive evidence emerged to support or debunk his alleged powers. Despite the skepticism, Wolf's impact on the realm of psychic phenomena cannot be denied. His life story continues to captivate generations and inspiring curiosity. Wolf's abilities, whether authentic or not, challenge the boundaries of human perception and the potential of the human mind. Wolf Messing's journey came to an end on November 8, 1974 in Moscow, leaving behind an enduring legacy. His life, with a mixture of mystery and controversy, serves as a reminder of the complex relationship between skepticism and the pursuit of understanding the unknown. To wrap it up, skeptics still question, his abilities to have these powers, even to this day. However, his ability to make people wonder and think about these things cannot be understated. He occupies a unique place in history, challenging our understanding of the human mind and its untapped potential. You can't be too crazy. The CIA did, MK Ultra and all that crap. Edward Kelly. Edward Kelly, also known as Edward Kelly or Edward Talbot, was an intriguing figure in the 16th century, known for his association with the renowned English occultist and alchemist John Dee. Born on August 1st, 1555 in Worcester, England, Kelly played a significant role in the practice of scrying, a form of divination, and his partnership with Dee left a lasting impact on the history of occultism. Kelly's early life was somewhat obscure, but it's known that he was educated at Oxford University, where he developed an interest in alchemy and the occult. In the late 1580s, he crossed paths with John Dee, a highly respected mathematician, astronomer, and scholar who sought to communicate with angels and gain esoteric knowledge. Dee was impressed by Kelly's alleged abilities as a medium and scryer, leading to their collaboration. Together, they conducted numerous sessions together using a crystal ball or special black mirror, during which Kelly would enter a trance-like state and relay messages from angels. The duo's partnership in pursuit of spiritual and occult knowledge took them on a journey across Europe. They visited various royal courts, including that of Emperor Rudolph II in Prague. Kelly's ability to communicate with angels was instrumental in the development of Dee's occult practices and his pursuit of the great work, which involved divining knowledge and unraveling all of mysteries of the universe. Seems like an easy challenge. However, Kelly's relationship with Dee was not without controversy. Rumors circulated that he manipulated Dee and fabricated messages from the angels to suit his own agenda, so he's a politician. Additionally, his personal life was marked with turmoil, including a turbulent relationship with his wife, as he was known for his really bad moral character. The partnership between Kelly and Dee eventually deteriorated, with accusations of deceit and disagreements. Kelly's later years were marked by a series of misfortunes, including imprisonment and financial difficulties. He died under mysterious circumstances in 1597 while attempting to escape from a prison. I'm sure it was mysterious. Yeah, I don't know how he got stabbed. Despite the controversy surrounding Kelly with his collaboration with Dee, left a significant impact on the occult and esoteric tradition. Their writings and recorded conversations shed a light on their spiritual beliefs, the nature of these angel communications, and their quest for hidden knowledge. Edward Kelly remains a strange figure in history. His alleged abilities and, the involvement of angel talking continue to fascinate those interested in esoteric and mystical realms, reminding us of the weird connections between spiritual exploration, human ambition, and the pursuit of hidden wisdom. But as always, what do you think? Comment down below. Sidney Gottlieb. Sidney Gottlieb may be the most mysterious, interesting person on this list in my opinion, due to his immense power in some of our lifetimes, depending how old you are. Sidney Gottlieb was born on August 3rd, 1918, and was an American chemist who worked for the CIA. He is best known for his involvement with the controversial MK Ultra program. Now, do you get what I'm saying? The MK Ultra program aimed to develop mind control and interrogation techniques during the Cold War era. Sidney joined the CIA in the early 1950s and was appointed as the head of the Technical Service Staff, or the TSS, within the CIA's Directorate of Plans. Under his leadership, The TSS became responsible for conducting various operations, including the MK-Ultra program. MK-Ultra encompassed a wide range of experiments and research, exploring techniques such as drug administration, hypnosis, and sensory deprivation to manipulate and control human behavior. Sidney's team conducted experiments involving the administrations of drugs, including LSD, to both willing and unwilling subjects. The program aimed to study the effects of these substances on individuals' minds and behavior, with potential applications in intelligence gathering and covert operations. Sidney oversaw the funding and coordination of various MK-Ultra sub-projects. Some of these sub-projects involved collaborating with universities, hospitals, research institutions to carry out experiments on volunteers. Which, side note here, you should check out this book. It involves all of this, as well as the Charles Manson, JFK, everything. Kind of links all this back together. Back to the video. Many aspects of the MK-Ultra involved, the controversial practices, such as administering drugs without the knowledge or consent of the subjects. They were dosing Americans without them knowing, just randomly giving drugs to people and like, hey, what's gonna happen? The details of Sidney's specific involvement in the MK-Ultra program and the extent of his knowledge regarding the operations remain murky. Nevertheless, he played a central role in the program, overseeing its activities and providing guidance on its objectives and methods. The MK-Ultra program operated in secrecy for many years, and its existence only became widely known in the 1970s, following a congressional investigation and the subsequent declassification of documents. The revelations about the MK-Ultra sparked public outrage and led to scrutiny of the CIA's activities. Following the exposure of the MK-Ultra program, Sidney retired from the CIA in 1973. He lived a quiet life away from the public eye and did not discuss his involvement with the program. He passed away on March 7, 1999, leaving behind a controversial legacy linked to the unethical practices of the MK-Ultra program. Sidney's role in the CIA's MK-Ultra program highlights the moral complexities and ethical dilemmas associated with these intelligence programs. But programs like this are exactly why I don't trust the government or government agencies. We constantly hear about they did this, they did this, they did this 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago. And nothing ever changes. They don't ever get in trouble for it. And then modern day, you'd be like, yeah, but they're the good guys. What makes you think that? Acre Boy. Bruno Borges, a Brazilian artist and self-proclaimed philosopher, emerged in international spotlight in 2017 due to his perplexing disappearance and intricate puzzle he left behind. Born on January 20th, 1992 in Rio Branco, Brazil, Borges captivated the world with his strange persona and thought-provoking ideas. At the age of 24, Bruno vanished from his home on March 27th, 2017, leaving behind a meticulously arranged room that resembled a scene from a science fiction movie. The room was abandoned with cryptic symbols and esoteric writings and sculptures, creating an atmosphere of intrigue and mystery. Bruno had been working on a secretive project he called the Theory of Absorption and Knowledge, which he claimed would revolutionize humanity's understanding of the world. He'd written numerous books on philosophy, consciousness, and spirituality, intending to release them to the public once his grand project was completed. The puzzle left behind in Bruno's room became the focus of intense media coverage and public fascination. Went viral on the internet. That's where I first saw it. It consisted of encrypted writings, intricate diagrams, and mysterious symbols that defied immediate comprehension. Puzzle sparked a flurry of theories and interpretations, with some suggesting it was an elaborate social experiment, while others believed it was a genuine quest for knowledge. After 10 days of speculation and public intrigue, Bruno returned unharmed, revealing that his disappearance had been a deliberate act. He claimed that he sequestered himself to concentrate on his work and to draw attention to his ideas. Bruno's reappearance only intensified the curiosity surrounding his persona and his concepts. Despite Bruno's intentions to share his knowledge and ideas, his work remained highly esoteric and subjective. His writings and theories explored profound questions about consciousness, spirituality, and the nature of reality. While some of his ideas were captivating and thought-provoking, others criticized them for lack of concrete evidence and reliance on abstract concepts. Although Bruno gained a small following of individuals intrigued by his unique approach to knowledge and consciousness, his ideas did not achieve widespread recognition or acceptance. The strange nature of his persona, combined with the mystique and disappearance and intricate puzzle he left behind, contributed to the lasting impact on popular culture and the imagination of those interested in mysteries and philosophical exploration. Bruno's story challenges conventional notions what it means to be a philosopher and artist. Whether he's seen as a weird artist, a visionary thinker, or both. Bruno invites us to question the depths of our curiosity and the possibilities that lie beyond the unknown. In my opinion, I think he's kind of out there, and he did this as like a social media stunt to go viral, which it kind of did in 2017, but it didn't really stick. But have you heard of this story before? Comment down below. Let me know what you think. Gunther Stoll. Gunther Stoll is also sometimes referred to as the Yatsky case, or the Y-O-G-T-Z-E case. Yatsky. The Yatsky case refers to the death of Gunther Stoll, an unemployed food engineer, on October 26, 1984. It is one of the most mysterious and weird cases in German criminal history. Gunther Stoll, an unemployed food engineer from Eindhoven, hope that's how you pronounce it, was suffering from mild paranoia in 1984. Prior to his death, he spoke to his wife about them, who was apparently just unidentified people who allegedly intended to harm him. Then on October 25th, 1984, around 11 o'clock at night, he specifically mentioned them before suddenly shouting, "Now I've got it." He wrote down 6 letters, Y-O-G-T-Z-E, on a sheet of paper before crossing them out. It should be noted that we're not really sure if the G is either a 6 or a G. Don't know. Apparently his wife was the only one who saw it. I believe she threw it away. Stoll then went off to his favorite pub, ordered a beer, and then fell on the ground, injuring his face. And according to the witnesses, he was not under the influence of alcohol when he lost consciousness. He woke up and got in his VW Golf, and what he did in the next 2 hours is unknown. Then on October 26, 1984, around 1 o'clock in the morning, he went to his hometown where he grew up. He spoke to a woman from his childhood about a horrible incident that's going to occur. Because it was so late at night, the woman suggested that he go to his parents' house since they was nearby and talk to them instead, so he walked that way. 2 truck drivers then discovered Stoll's vehicle in a ditch nearby. Both truck drivers said they witnessed an injured person wearing a white jacket walking near the car. The drivers then discovered a severely injured Gunther naked in his car after calling the police. He was conscious and mentioned 4 male passengers who were in the car with him but then fled. They asked him, were they your friends? And he denied it. He passed away on the way to the hospital. Now here's where it gets even weirder. I know what you're thinking. It's already weird. Naked guy in his own car, crash in the passenger seat, and he said 4 other guys were driving it, and a witness did see another guy walking down the road after he was like saying these people are out to get him. But anyway, the criminal investigation revealed that Stoll was injured prior to the crash, and they concluded that he was most likely hit by another car before being placed in the passenger seat of his own car. So it sounds like he was hit after he walked away, and they threw him in his car. Any people saw walking nearby the hitchhiker, the man in the jacket, were never identified. There were some suspicions that he was going to the Netherlands to buy drugs, but those theories are unfounded. To this day, the Yatsky phrase still has no meaning, and this case remains unsolved. Truly one of the weirdest, interesting cases I've ever heard of. What do you think? What do you think Yatsky means? Did he stumble upon something he wasn't supposed to? Comment down below. Let me know. The unknown woman of the scene. The unknown woman of the scene refers to an unidentified young woman whose death mask became an iconic image in the world of art and literature. The story of the unknown woman of scene is shrouded in mystery and captivated the imagination of many. The origins of this unknown woman trace back to the late 19th and early 20th century, and according to legend, her lifeless body was reportedly floating in the river Seine in Paris. She had drowned and her identity remained unknown, and as custom at the time, a death mask was created to preserve her image. The death mask of the unknown woman was noted for its serene expression, often described as the face of beauty. The mask's captivating appearance led to its widespread reproduction and distribution. It became a popular decorative item and found its way into many homes and artistic circles. Now here's where it gets real crazy. Prior to this video, you've probably seen this face before and you didn't even realize it. The unknown woman's death mask gained further attention when it became the inspiration for the first CPR doll. In the early 20th century, Norwegian doctor Asmund Ladrell, God I hope I pronounced that right, was searching for a model with the perfect facial expression for his newly designed recitation training device. He came across the death mask of the unknown woman and found its peaceful expression fitting for this purpose. The resulting CPR doll, known as Rescue Annie, has been since widely used in CPR training worldwide. But the allure of this unknown woman's face has extended beyond the medical community. Writers, poets, artists were all captivated by the mystery of her identity, as well as the beauty of her death mask. Numerous works of literature, including plays, poems, and novels, have been inspired by her story. Her image became a symbol of romanticism, death, and eternal beauty. Despite the enduring fascination with the unknown woman, her her true identity remains unknown even to this day. The story surrounding her death and circumstances leading to it are subject to speculation and folklore. Some believers say she was a young woman who tragically took her own life, while others suggest she may have been a victim of foul play. The truth behind her story may forever remain a mystery. Igor Dyatlov. First off, Igor is far too low on this iceberg. I feel like everyone's heard of Dyatlov Pass. If not, what the hell are you doing? Look that up. Igor Dyatlov was a Russian hiker and a leader of a group known as the Dyatlov Pass Expedition. He was born on January 13th, 1936 in the Soviet Union. Dyatlov's name has most commonly been associated with a tragic incident known as the Dyatlov Pass Incident, which occurred in 1959. The Dyatlov Pass Incident took place in the Ural Mountains, where Dyatlov and a group of 9 experienced hikers embarked on a winter expedition to reach the summit of Mount Otorten. However, a group encountered severe weather conditions and decided to set up camps near the slopes of Kyotlikov, also known as Dead Mountain. Please forgive me for my Russian pronunciations. At some point during the night of February 1st, 1959, something went terribly wrong. The hikers' tents was found torn from the inside, and the group had fled in a panic, half-dressed, barefoot, into freezing temperatures. Tragically, all 9 hikers died under mysterious circumstances. The investigation that followed raised many unanswered questions. The bodies of the hikers were found scattered in the surrounding area, and autopsies revealed various causes of death, including hypothermia, trauma, internal injuries. Some victims had very unusual injuries, such as crushed skulls and a missing tongue, which added to the weirdness of this case. And I also believe that they all had low-dose radiation. It's even weirder. Numerous theories and speculations emerged over the years, ranging from natural disasters and avalanches to the paranormal, extraterrestrial involvement. The exact sequence of events that led to the hiker's death remains a subject of debate and mystery. In recent years, there's been attempts to re-examine the case using modern forensic techniques and technology. These efforts aim to shed a light on the circumstances surrounding the tragedy, providing a definitive explanation so we can close this case. However, despite the ongoing investigation and research, the Dyatlov Pass incident continues to be a perplexing and unresolved mystery. Igor's and his companion's death on those remote slopes of that mountain has sparked worldwide fascination and inspired countless theories, books, documentaries, even fictional accounts of TV shows and movies. The Dyatlov Pass incident remains a chilling reminder of the unknown forces and dangers that nature can present. But you know, some people don't think it's nature. Some people think it could be a Yeti, basically they're Bigfoot, aliens, government, avalanche, whatever. My theory, Soviet Union doing some kind of Russian testing, weapon testing, I imagine, and they were just unlucky to be there. Well, what do I know? Curious to know what you know. Comment down below what you think happened. I finally got done filming, all the editing, everything done, and then I realized I forgot 2 people. So I had to go back and re-record this. That's why I'm wearing a different shirt, by the way. Anyway, Bodhidharma. Bodhidharma was a semi-legendary Buddhist monk from the 5th or 6th century CE, or AD, as I like to say it. He is widely regarded as the first Chinese patriarch and the transmitter of Chan Buddhism to China. Chan Buddhism is an indigenous form of Chinese Buddhism that developed in the 6th century AD and spread to the rest of Asia. According to a 17th century story found in the manual called the Yinjing, Bodhidharma began the physical training of the Shaolin monastery monks, which resulted in the development of Shaolin Kung Fu. So that's pretty cool. In China, he's known as the Daimyo, and in Japan, he is known as the Daruma. There's little biographical information on Bodhidharma, and subsequent accounts of him have been layered in some truth and some legend. According to the main Chinese sources, he was born in the western regions, which is usually referred to as Central Asia, but also can be extended all the way down to India. And a lot of sources believe he was Indian. In fact, they think he was the son of an Indian king who then renounced his royalty. According to the Chinese, Bodhidharma is depicted as an ill-tempered, large-nosed, profusely bearded, wide-eyed, non-Chinese person. Their words, not mine. And in the Chan text, he's referred to as the blue-eyed barbarian. Sounds like a Yu-Gi-Oh card. Aside from these Chinese accounts, there are several popular traditions concerning the origin of Bodhidharma. These accounts mainly differ about when he arrived in China. Some saying he arrived between 420 and 479 AD, while others saying he didn't arrive till 502 to 557 AD. Bodhidharma was really big on meditation. That was the main thing he taught and practiced. And according to the legend, he was the 28th patriarch to Buddhism, in an unbroken line dating all the way back to Buddha himself. There are a few legends about him, which is why I'm assuming he's most likely on this list. Other than he's kind of an unknown guy may have created Kung Fu. But the two legends that I found most interesting were the wall gazing and the appearances after his death, so I'll go over them. The 9 years of wall gazing legend says that after Bodhidharma failed to make favorable impressions in South China, he said that he traveled to a Shaolin monastery. After being refused entry into there, he then traveled to a nearby cave where he faced the wall for 9 years and not speaking a word the entire time. Another legend says that Bodhidharma was admitted into the Shaolin temple after 9 years in the cave and taught there some time. However, other versions of the report say he passed away seated upright, or that he disappeared, leaving behind the Yin Jing, the story I mentioned earlier, or that his legs atrophied after 9 years of sitting, which is why Daruma dolls have no legs. Now, the second coolest legend is the appearance after his death. 3 years after his death, Ambassador Song Yun of Northern Wei is said to have seen him walking in the mountains holding one shoe. Song asked him, "Where are you going?" Which Bodhidharma replied, "I am going home." He then asked him, "Why are you carrying one shoe?" And Bodhidharma replied, "You will know when you reach the Shaolin monastery, and don't tell anyone you met me or it will be a disaster for you." And of course, once he reached the monastery, first thing he did was tell somebody. And they told him he was dead and buried and he was a liar, so they arrested him. The grave of Bodhidharma was then exhumed by the monk, and he was found buried with one shoe. So that's kind of creepy. Elisa Lam. Elisa Lam was a Canadian student who tragically died under mysterious circumstances in 2013. Her case gained significant media attention and sparked public intrigue due to the strange circumstances surrounding her disappearance and her discovery. Lam was just a 21-year-old student from Vancouver, Canada, who was traveling alone in the United States. And in January of 2013, she checked into the Cecil Hotel in downtown Los Angeles. Shortly after her arrival, she went missing and her family reported her disappearance. The search for Elisa Lam garnered widespread attention when surveillance footage from the hotel's elevator was released to the public. The video showed Elisa exhibiting unusual behavior, seemingly interacting with an unseen presence and pressing multiple elevator buttons. This footage went viral, raising numerous questions about what happened to her, sparking various theories and speculations. And I'm not gonna lie, this footage still creeps me out. I'm not sure why. I'll play it now. Several weeks after her disappearance, hotel guests began complaining about low water pressure and strange taste in the water, so that led the hotel staff to go check out the water tank, where Elisa Lam's body was found floating in the tanks. The guests had been consuming this contaminated water for weeks. The circumstances of Lam's death perplexed investigators and the public alike. The official cause of her death was listed as an accidental drowning, with bipolar disorder being a contributing factor. The strange behavior captured in the elevator footage led to theories ranging from mental illness to foul play to even the supernatural, which I can understand why the video is creepy as hell. And then when you account the fact that where she was staying, the Cecil Hotel, is layered with dark history, which had a reputation for housing criminals and attracting a high number of suicides and murderers. It also ignited the discussion of mental health, hotel safety, and the power of viral videos in the digital age. So the authorities wanted to mark this as an accidental drowning, while most of the public thought there was foul play or, like I said, some kind of weird supernatural thing going on. And I was a member of the group willing to entertain these ideas. But today, the mystery's pretty much solved. It's pretty much understood and accepted that she accidentally drowned after having a mental health episode, but various theories continue to circulate online. And like I said, I even believe some of these weird theories. Hell, I even wasted multiple hours of my life watching this Netflix documentary. You see, the reason I was a member of this theory is because, according to the story, Elisa climbed into the water tank, and the initial reporting was that the tank lid was then closed, but there was no way she could reach that, which is why I was led to believe that it was foul play or something weird going on. So that always bugged me. But then, according to the man who found her, the tank lid was still open, which means it's very plausible that she just fell in. In fact, I'll play the evidence that the tank lid was open here.
Was the status of the actual tank lid. Story from the police is the lid is closed. The employee that found her, his name is Santiago Lopez. He reports to the court that he climbs up on top of the tank and the hatch is open.
So with all that, I don't think there's foul play personally, but what do you think? Comment down below. Whew. And that will do it, guys. Thank you so much for sticking around. Tier 5's coming quick, followed by tier 6, the final tier. These take a long time to make, all the research, editing, filming, but I enjoy looking up all these new cases. Some I've heard many times before, some are brand new to me, and I hope that's true for you as well. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like and a comment. It really helps me out. And if you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button. We finally got our 1,000 subs this year. So happy and so grateful. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one, and I love you guys.